Good afternoon. Welcome to the garden, or good evening, or good morning, whenever you're finally hitting the garden today. I'm starting in a new sort of world of woo track of things. I'm going to be studying numbers. I'm going to be doing an in-depth view of numbers from 1 to 9 and in all the different disciplines, tarot, horoscope, all these different things. You'll see as we get into it. But today's lesson is going to be how to calculate your life path number if you don't know how to do that. That may mean you might want to pause this and go grab a pen and pencil. And before we get into that part, I decided to pull a card from the Inner Child deck. Ta-da! I'm sure that surprises everyone. Anyway, the Six of Wands is cooperative working together. The Six of Wands is someone getting just due and recognition. But in this deck, it happens to do about May Day and about why the maypole came about. And it was a day that was traditionally set up the evening before May Day. The significance of the maypole is to dance into new fertility and to understand and to ultimately worship and look at Mother Nature. It's an old tradition. There are maypole dances in the Eastern European tradition, Western European tradition. There's Hanukkah. There's Japanese tea ceremonies. But lots of different things that have ended up not being totally understood. It was a really serious thing at the time. People got out and danced and really enjoyed the communal spirit. When the Six of Wands shows up in your card, it means you're doing something delightful to bring forth creative powers. We're honoring the apex of the jubilance of new cosmic energy and the new consciousness that's blossoming before them. This is the time to express your passionate side and to realize that you are a vital part of a continuing moving circle of life. And I look at numerology that way because what I'm going to do is I would like you to, if you want to, if you don't already know what your life path is, I'm going to show you how to calculate it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of it for you. And then if you hold on to that number as we're going through the 1 through 9s, you can look at what your life path is and see if those things sort of seem to calculate and flow together. Life path number, it comes from your birthday. So in all the things in numerology, it's the one thing that cannot change because you're born the day you're born. I mean, I've actually met people, and we get into numerology a little more, we'll talk about it, who actually changed their names to change their numbers. But I'm not sure if one person I know who said it really worked for him. Other people was like, yeah, I did that, but Anyway, life path. Your life path comes from your birthday. How do you figure your life path out of your birthday? Well, in numerology, the big thing to remember is everything reduces down to one digit. So if you're born in November, your birth month is 11, it's always going to reduce to 2. Then you reduce your birth date to a single digit. Then you reduce your birth year to a single digit. And I'm going to give you an example. You can write this down to try and follow it. And I'm going to do 2 years, 1 year, and then the same birthday the next year, and you can see how different the numbers are, even though the day and the month is the same. Say you were born on May 2nd, 1948. You would be 5 May plus 2 for the second, plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 8. And when you add all that together, it comes down to 5 for May, 2 for the second date, and 1948 renders down to a 22 or a 4. So then you add, now everybody stop. You've got a 5 for the day, 2 for the 5 for the month, 2 for the day. Now we've reduced the 4 to the year. When you add 5, 2, and 4, you get an 11. Now, 11s end up being a special number. You've got 1 through 9 for your birth, for your life path. You can also have an 11 and a 22, and in rare occasions, a 33. An 11 is like a 2 on steroids. So your life path will either be 2, depending on how you use it. If you have an 11, it means you're a powerful little critter. That's a higher order number, and it's good to have. Okay, now that's somebody born on May 2nd, 1948. So someone born on May 2nd, 1949. So you have the same 5 and the same 2. You add those 2 together. And then your 1949 adds, it originally comes up to 23. Then when you add the 2 and the 3 together, it becomes 5. So your birthday becomes 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 5 is 12. So the 12, again, you reduce it. So a person born on May 2nd, 1949 would have a life path of 3. And that actually happens to be my birthday. So 3 people are communicators. They're creative. They're expansive. They can also get lost in their heads. But I'm going to give you some keywords now and if you want to stop the tape and figure out what your birthday is so that when you hit the keyword, you'll understand. I believe in working with keywords. It's how I learned the whole tarot deck. It's how I learned a lot of things. I really like to use keywords. So my keyword when I see someone with a life path of 21 is a pioneer or an adventurer. My keyword for someone who's a 2, if there's just a straight 2, they are unifying and they bring harmony more or less in one-to-one situations, not in broad groups, but they're one-to-one. They're really good. They're really good with dualities. And an 11 can be a 22, can be a 2 also. If you have a 3 life path, you're communicative and creative. If you have a 4 life path, you can be very secure. You build really good, firm foundations, or sometimes 4 can be very rigid. And if you get locked into a 4-year, a lot of things may break apart to get you out of an unsecured foundation. 4s can also be added up. If your life path adds up to a 22, then you're like a 4 on steroids. You can be extra secure. You can be expansive. You can be a very spiritual person. If you have 5 as your life path, that's freedom or chaos. And if you've worked well with things in your life, you can come in and have a lot of freedom to play and to understand and to move in this life. If you don't handle business well, then you can be kind of chaotic and makes change difficult. 5 as a number normally means change. 6 is what I call the hearth and home number. It's the nurturer's number. If you're a 6 life path, you probably are kind and nurturing towards people. The flip side of that is if you don't deal with the best natures, you can be a very difficult, hard to get to know person, very isolating. 7 is wise, mentor. I'm sorry, my throat's kind of stuck up, and meditative. And this is 7 in all of religions is a very spiritual number. It's also the number of analysis. And people who have 7 sometimes are really good at analyzing great amounts of information. They're good at handling that sort of stuff. 8 people are lucky. They got the prosperity and abundance number. And you will work well in helping other people get abundance and to gain it for yourself. 9 is what you'd expect. If you go 1 through 9, things sort of end. But also 9 people can be at the pinnacle of their powers and be very humanitarian. It also can be someone who's good at ending things. And you're going to, in that lifetime, you're probably going to have a lot of things come to a culmination. If you have 11, which is the 2, you can have 11 or 2. It means that something's very psychic, very part of kind of new agey things, that person to be there. And a 22 is, like I said, it's a 4 on steroids. It's the security, the ability to build a strong foundational base, the ability to work with lots of things is really important for 22s. They're the kind of person people say they're a master. They're very good at what they do. So, to review, for those who just finally got your paper or opened up your phone and put it on the notepad, To figure out your life path, you add the month you were born by its digit, 1 through 12, 12 months of the year. The day you were born, 1 through 31 or 1 through 29 or whatever is in the month you're born. And then your year. And the way you calculate the number for your year is to add each single digit together, come up with a number, and keep simplifying that number till you get down to one digit. Then you add the month, the day, and the year together. And if that's a digit that's more than one digit, you simplify it down until you have one digit. So the example I gave that's the easiest one is May 2nd, 1949. It's May 5, day 2nd 2. And the year, when you add 1949 together, 1949, it comes down to 23. Then you simplify the 23 to a 5. So the life path for that person is 5 May 2, that's 7, and then 5 for the year is another 5, so that's 12. That comes out to a double digit. So you add the 1 and the 2 together, you get a 3. That's a life path of 3. So now you know what your life path is. I will put a reference to Ann Perry's site, and she will go, trust me, this is like the world's most simplest life path explanation ever. It's the real cheap seats. Numerology has so much more to offer, but it gives you a number to hang on to as you're going through the next few days when we go through the 1 through 9. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for stopping by. And no, that's it. Bye.